Hello and welcome to this week's episode of...
And so for sample prep, we're going to first contend with the size of the pill bottle. So obviously this whole thing isn't going to fit into the Q cup, so we're going to have to first reduce the particle size for this. Now, the first thing we're gonna have to do is help. Well, thank you, off-screen producer. You know, I don't know why they call those things child locks. No child could ever get that open. But regardless, here we have our sample in a much more manageable form. For most plastic samples, we recommend either cutting, milling, or cryo-milling the plastic such that it is in a much more appropriate form for the edge. So to start for the sample prep, we'll go ahead and take our sample holder, the Q cup, disassemble like so. Then we'll take one of our Q discs. Today, we're using the S1 pre-stacked filter sandwich. Insert it into the base of the Q cup, making sure it's laying nice and flat. Then we'll go ahead and reassemble the Q cup. And after the Q cup's reassembled, we'll go ahead and pour in our plastic sample. This is about 2 grams of plastic. Now that that's all prepped, the last step is to take a Q screen, a stainless steel mesh that helps keep the sample submerged in solvent. We'll simply insert it into the opening, press down with the tool, and just like that, our sample is prepped. I'll go ahead and load the Q cup into the rack, place a vial right beside it. I'll take the rack, load it into the edge, and then I'll come around front. So that way, I can go ahead, select the method, load the method, press play, press start, and let the edge do its thing. Now, prescription bottles have been around since the 19th century. These early versions were made of glass and would often contain cotton balls inside the bottles to protect the fragile, powdery pills from breaking apart. Nowadays, pills are coated, so the cotton balls aren't necessary. Well, the edge is still doing its thing, so I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And now, the edge has finished its run. So here we have our extracted sample. And here, we have our extract. You can see that the extract is nicely filtered, and I can attest that it's cool to the touch. So this is ready to go straight to analysis for any kind of compounds that you might be looking for. Common compounds for plastic extractions include things like UV stabilizers, slip additives, and flame retardants. Pharmaceutical production is highly regulated, which extends to the packaging itself. When testing, things like uniformity, sterility, and the actual composition of the packaging must be accounted for. The edge helps alleviate the actual testing process. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Will It Extract. For more information, please visit CEM.com.